Okay, we're using 3/4 of a pound of ground beef and 1/4 pound of pork, ground pork. We'll think about this stuff in a little bit. We're gonna make a sofrito first, and then we're gonna put the meat in. But what I have here is I have probably 4 cloves of garlic, and then I have a red onion. It's half a red onion. This is half a bell pepper, and it's a bright red bell pepper, just so you can figure out the amount of stuff I've got here. And I've got 3 stalks of celery, and we're gonna saute that up real quick, and we'll be back. This is the bell pepper. This is the onion. This bell pepper goes in next. Each one goes in at a time. That some take a little longer than others to actually cook out the moisture, which is what we're trying to flavor the oil, basically, by doing this. Salt in there too. Okay, you can see the colors changing. This one I put in the celery. It looks like a lot of vegetable, I know, but you'll see with the amount of meat, we need this. Put a touch more oil in there. It's my Croatian secret weapon. It's Croatian olive oil. And it's really incredible. I didn't think I'd ever say it, but it's actually better than Italian. I've had Italian oil that's better than that, but not commercially. One of my buddies down in Miami, he's actually from Italy, and he's got a olive grove that he presses his own olives. It's really incredible. And I try to shoot over at his house on Palm Island as much as I can because of that. And now we're gonna press the garlic in. Back over. Like you see, you want to cook this down a good amount, because I want it to basically disappear in the meat we make here. Okay. All right, in goes the mince. There's the beef. Here's the pork. Just want to break it up. Get as much contact with the pan as you possibly can. You can incorporate your vegetables, which at this point they're very dehydrated, so they take on the flavor of the meat, actually season the meat, and takes up some of the fat and some of the flavor that's there. And all these people will tell you all this low fat stuff, but if it's low fat, it's basically no flavor. Okay, now is when you season again. Black pepper. Oh, there's a good amount of meat and veg, so it'll take a good dose of seasoning. And I've got that fairly incorporated. That's when we're going to put some coriander in. I'll give it a good dose, a good dash or 3. Then comes the cumin. 3 good dashes there. Depending on how spicy, this is chipotle pepper. And depending on how, this is, you gotta kind of be careful with. So that's about as much as I'm gonna put in. And I'm gonna share this with my neighbors, and I don't want to blow them out, but boy, has that got such a beautiful smoky smell. Wish you could smell this. If you make this recipe this way, you will. Since I don't know where it cut off, I was talking about the cookware I'm using, and I'm not getting sponsored by it or anything, but it's called Hexclad, and it's really impressive stuff. It creates beautiful color, beautiful sear, and it's just, I wouldn't cook without it, to be honest. Well, I've talked to you guys about layers of flavor, and this is where I put some Blue Moon. It's a Belgian white, and I deglaze with that. It helps me break this up, and it adds another level of flavor. It gets the bits off the bottom. We can keep breaking this up a little bit. We want this to be very tight crumbles because it'll be easier to roll. But look at that texture now. I hope you can see all this stuff in it. How beautiful that is. So let's let that reduce down a little bit, and we'll be back with prep. All right, so when it's done, it should look like this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it off, we're gonna put it in a ramekin and cool it off. And then we'll come back and we'll roll up the enchiladas. All right, so everybody has their way of doing things. And my way is I pull out a certain amount of tortillas like this, and I put a little oil in a pan. I've got it set really low. This is peanut oil. You don't want to use olive oil because olive oil is very strong. What I do is I put it in here like this, turn it. The first one's going to be like this, and then you take another one put it on top of that, and then turn it too. Take this, turn that, like that. I'll put another one there. I'll turn it, put another one there, and so forth, and so on. You can see there is a pattern here. And one takes care of the other. And two, you keep doing this until you run out of oil. You're really not cooking these things anymore, because what we need to do is get them to a certain point of wetness and cook through. Okay. Then, actually that one, it's a problem. Broke it. But just throw it off to the side and put these there. And then we'll just start doing it again on some more. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start assembling these. But before we do that, we're gonna put this can, half of this can in here at the bottom. Now we take this, put a little this, and a little cheese in there, like that. And just roll it up. It's just that simple. I'm gonna put the face down like that. I'm just gonna repeat the process. Okay, now that it looks like this, they're all done. And I kind of got a little bit over my skis on the mount. But you can never have too many enchiladas. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the rest of that remaining can, and we're gonna put that over this. And I've got another can that I've got to open. Hang on. Okay, by the magic of television, I've got the other can open. What you want to do is just kind of cover this. You just don't want it to be dry, because it'll dry out if you don't. Because we're gonna bake it for 350 at 350. I'm gonna just kind of move some of that around, because we don't want it dry. What I do is I like to take the rest of the meat and crumble it all over the top like this. And that's why we do so much, is because we want to have that extra, so everybody gets a little bit extra in their mouth when we make these servings. And then as you well expected, we're going to cover it all with cheese. All right. All right, so now what I do is I put down some mozzarella, because I like it to be stringy. I put down some mozzarella. Not lots, because we're gonna cover the rest of that. We're gonna just put, interspersed like this. Of course, the whole thing comes apart. Okay, just like this. Over in the corners. And then, big time, I'm gonna put, this is extra sharp cheddar. And this is what most people put down for enchiladas. Not me, I like to have a little bit of stringiness going on. So, that's just about perfect. Try to cover, like I said, you gotta kind of cover the tortilla, because if it don't, it dries out, because it's gonna dry out. What we're gonna do, because the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put foil on it, and I'll show you that in a second. All right, so I'm gonna put some foil on it, this. Tighten it up. And we're going to put it in an oven that's 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. That'll give it enough time to everything to meld together. And then we're going to take it back out, and I'll show you what we're going to do then. There it is. What we're going to do is we're going to turn, I'm going to leave the oven just like that on, and pull this off. And look at how beautiful that is. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put it back in the oven. Brody, hush. We're going to put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so. And there's what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so what I would tell you to do, even though I know some want to really dig in quickly, what you don't want to do is do that, because this thing is so hot right now. It's like molten lava, but it's so going to be so good in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and let that cool way off because it's deep in there, that heat. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. And let me know in the comments what you thought about the recipe and all that.